Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we've got something new from WPL. So this is kind of another one where I slightly guessed what was going to be released next without knowing. So what I mean by that is, in my previous videos, well, I think it was the last unboxing I did for WPL, I kind of guessed the C64, that lifted Toyota Hilux, because when they originally released it as a D chassis with the all-wheel drive system and so on, I ended up putting that body onto the Suzuki Jimny chassis. Well, if you can remember, around about the same time I'd done that, I actually done another build based on, well, my real life truck right there. So, enough chit chat. Let's get this box open. We've got another K truck. You may be wondering, wait, this is just a D12. Well, it technically is, but technically isn't. So this time it is officially licensed by Suzuki, same as the Jimny was. So you get Suzuki on the box, you get to actually have the decal or the badges on the truck itself, and what I am most enthusiastic for, kind of gave the hints away when I've said I've already kind of guessed this one, is that this is the same as the four-wheel drive chassis. So what I've been waiting for ages is this. They decided to make it as a factory. They decided to make it as a factory option four-wheel drive. So, with it out the box, it looks like the standard D12. But, like I said about the licensing, you can notice on the front, it has the Suzuki badge on it this time. So I believe within this bag of spare parts, which I've already opened, there should be, which I've just noticed, there should be some emblems for it. Kind of just lost them. I think that's emblem. Oh no, there it is. So within the bag there is some actual. It's quite hard to show on camera because I don't have lighting behind my rig. There is some actual Suzuki emblems. And another thing I've just noticed, which I'm kind of glad about, is they provide you with a spare front shaft. Because I will tell you now, my built one, I actually ended up breaking one of the front shafts because I locked the front differential on it. But I'm hoping to transfer that build over onto this one. When I say that build, here is a replica, or sort of what I want my truck to turn out to be like. So my plan is to transfer all the parts across and we'll get it out for a run. Okay, so one thing I've noticed from the factory, unlike the D64s, that came with unlocked front and rear differentials. This actually comes with a locked rear and a unlocked front, which should mean it will perform quite well on road. A bit unsure how well it should handle trails like that, but one thing I've loved is this new arm design. It's gotten rid of that stupidly curved arm and made it somewhat flat, which should mean there's less likely of it popping off full suspension compression. Another thing I've noticed is the spring, or I think it may just be because it's new, the spring on the front feels quite stiff. Just comparing it, oh no wait, I've switched that out to coil springs. I'm pretty sure none of my other ones have ever been that soft. Another thing, the rear axle on this, if I pop this wheel off, is metal. Like the new Hilux WPL released not that long ago, it's got cast metal rear hexes. The Hilux had cast metal dog bones as well, but in this case the front axle or the front drive shaft is actually CVD, so I'm not 100% sure they could cast something like that. But it does raise the question, is WPL going to release metal drive shaft upgrades for the front? Because like I said earlier in the video, I'm glad they provided a spare front plastic drive shaft, but like I said about my custom built one over here, I had already broken one of them shafts pretty quickly. So enough chit chat, I'm going to take this one apart. I'm going to transfer the body from this one over onto this, and then we'll take it out for a test drive or test trail. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but we'll see. Let's go. So, with the body off, it basically looks the exact same as the D64. So, I'm not really going to talk much about that, but what I am going to talk about is this cab. So, it looks like this, like the arches, is an add-on. Because that looks like the original D12 interior underneath, and it's got some bolt-on extras, which does kind of give it like a little skid plate up front, which is kind of nice. But my main goal is I want to see if I can transfer the body, or transfer a normal D12 body over onto the D14. If I haven't mentioned what the code is, it is a D14, it's not a D12. I just get these really confused sometimes when they look exactly the same. Yeah, and that is a completely different design inside. But the interior, from looking at it, the interior should be the same. So hopefully, if I just pop here and here and pop on the front, and then how are these being held in, because I want to transfer the LEDs as well. So I want to transfer the LEDs and this grille. Grill should just pop out like so. Oh, no, lost it. Right, we're back. So this is the new chassis and this is the D64. As you can tell, my one is slightly modified with a long travel suspension on the front and lifted rear end. So I don't know if my wheels will be able to be transferred over without lifting it. Actually, I've just noticed something else. I am pretty sure the knuckles on this, the steering knuckles, are a new design because the top ball mount is really off-centered. I don't know if that's going to be structurally a weak point on it. And that's definitely a new steering knuckle or hub or whatever you want to call it. I wonder if this one can be lifted. Anyways, enough getting sidetracked. The question is, will your D12 body, so say you've got one like me who you've nicely painted up but you want to make it four-wheel drive, will it be transferable? So if I pop my interior on the back, and then it should be just straight pull out the front. Why I said I wanted to transfer the lights, because this light set in this one is not from this set. So as you can tell, that wire there is like guitar string tight. So I need to pull that and pop that light, and then I've got the light out. So, I've gotten rid of that. Got rid of the original grille, putting the new grille in. Of course, fits absolutely spot on because it is just the normal grille. The next fun bit is whether or not this interior lines up, because it looks, yeah, all the mounting holes on the new body look like it should just slot in. I say that and then I'm kind of forgetting to put the new lights. Put the new lights in place. Alright. That clips in. That clips in. Interior transfer complete. Now the arch liner. I do like this. I will admit I do like this arch liner because it does cover up some of the places where mud can go basically up the backside of this cab and into the interior. So I do like that as a added extra. So that looks like it all goes together with an old D12 body, which I'm gonna have to talk to the official store, because I tell you what, half of my D12s I want to switch over to four-wheel drive anyways. So I'm going to have to talk to them, see if they can sell just this chassis with the interior piece as a separate thing. Because I would love to just four-wheel drive swap half of my D12s. It would make off-roading and using them a lot easier, a lot nicer. Don't get me wrong, two-wheel drive is nice and fun, and two-wheel drive is nice and fun for drifting, but there's not really, where I live, there's not really much places you can use a two-wheel drive one. So I've now got the body swap done. As you'll see later on, you'll see it looks somewhat similar to my truck. My truck hasn't been painted this colour yet, and well, like I said, I'll transfer these wheels over at some point, but I'm going to leave it stock for the running video, and I may put them on in a little bit. But currently my truck hasn't got these wheels on, it's still got the slot mags, nor has it got this roof rack. But the issue I was originally having is this is actually made out of metal. So every time I added it to a D12, pushed the front. Alright, that is, like I said, these are much stronger front springs, because every time I added it to a D12 stock, it would just slam the front end. It would just slam the front end down, and the springs wouldn't return up. So, I say enough chit chat. Time to get this out and hit some trails. Let's go. Hey guys, we are back in the studio with a overall roundup. I'm going to try and keep this one quite quickly because I kind of got a sore throat. This is the WPL I always wanted, but they kind of marketed it wrong. So they have marketed this as a drift car. Bear in mind it slides absolutely nicely. I had it sliding around on a wet road with no issues. But when I think four-wheel drive, when I think four-wheel drive K-truck, I think of off-roading. I think of blasting it down a dirt track, gently crawling over stuff and so on like that. Well, it is geared too wrong to do that. So it is geared towards more high-end speed. So what you'll get trying to crawl over stuff is the motor will just like squeal at you or brown out. I don't know the actual technical term of it. but it basically struggles because of the gear ratio. It seems to be a reoccurring thing with WPLs right now, is the gearing seems to be wrong. They seem to be geared too high. So, moving on from that, you may notice it is on a set of 1-inch tyres. You may think, oh, I said earlier on in the video I would be running these, which is a copy or an RC version of one of these. This is what I'm planning to run on my full-size truck. These are 13-inch Compomotives. They look almost the same as these. Well, remember earlier in the video I pointed out, oh, they've made new hubs. They kind of cause every wheel I have for this to rub. Even the standard WPL rims which came on the C14, C24, all of them do not fit on the front hub without jamming up. So that front knuckle, the arm, ends up rubbing on the inside of these. The only WPL rim which doesn't rub is the new one which came on the Suzuki Jimny. They're absolutely fine, but with the exact same issue I have with the M chassis ones, is they sit out too far, then they end up hitting the fender on the front. So I ended up trimming back the drive shaft to move them in, and they just locked the wheels up, which is kind of a bad move if you think about it, because if they are trying to market it towards being a drift car, locally to me, any track I've tried to run any of my WPL drift or D12 drift cars, they've always wanted me to run a proper drift tyre. None of the 3D printed ones, none of the resin printed ones, none of the PVC pipe ones, none of the electrical tape ones. So the fallback one is a Tamiya drift tyre, because it's small enough to fit on these without modifying the body. But you can't even get these to fit. Overall, I love it, but I feel like they could release a few upgrades to market it towards being used as a trail truck over a drift car. But that's just my saying in it. It's not my company. I'm just a guy who makes YouTube videos. What do I know? Anyways, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see ya.